The Oklahoma City Thunder had the best record in the NBA this year. They're the top overall seed in the Western Conference playoffs, and they outdistanced your Rockets by 16 games. That was the gap between the top seed and the second seed in the Western Conference. Is Oklahoma City went 68-14. Is there any chance that this team could be an underdog?
For the same reasons. People like to go with what they're comfortable with, and they wouldn't be an underdog in these first or second rounds. That's not the question. But when you say they're coming out of the Western Conference, there's a lot of people that are going to say, how would they get past the Lakers? A lot of people have the Lakers as favorites. Heck, a lot of people with even what they saw last night, and looks can be deceiving, and let's give Memphis a lot more credit than they deserve. They've been in these situations before. They haven't won, but they're a little more seasoned than they get credit for. A lot of people are favoring Golden State to come out the West, or saying they wouldn't be surprised if they had enough. People are comfortable with names. So is it fair to say they're underdogs? Dan, I don't think you're crazy when I hear it, and I understand it. For me, I don't believe it, though, brother.
The record is tough to move past. I also think that just their history is tough to move past, because here's when we look at Oklahoma City and when we remember them being at the top or near the top of the game, it was when Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were teammates. And then we know Kevin Durant left via free agency, and the Thunder really never were the same, at least the same to that level. Like, there's a difference from a 55, a 60 win season, to a 40 win season, or like this season, 68. Because when they were going to the NBA Finals, when they were doing their thing in the early 2010s, 2011, 2012, in those seasons, 60 wins. The year they went to the finals, remember, it was a lockout year. They still won 47 games in that 66-game season. They won 59 the next year, and then they ended up winning 55 in what was Kevin Durant's last season there. And then you had a string of 40-win seasons with Russell Westbrook. And then Westbrook's gone. Chris Paul comes in, and then ultimately they bottom out. The reason I bring that up is because the bottom wasn't as long as we thought. Like, remember the process in Philadelphia seemed to take like 5 years? It did not for Oklahoma City. There are only 2 seasons they had of 20-win seasons where they were one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. It was in the 2020-21 season and the 21-22 season. Then they end up bouncing back, getting into the play-in a few years ago. Then last year, number 1 overall seed, and then now the 68 wins and best record in the entire NBA. But they didn't do it in just getting the first overall pick every single year. Like they make the brilliant trade to get SGA. They are able to land Chet Holmgren. The drafting of Jalen Williams has been significant. He's an all-star caliber player. They make a move for Alex Caruso this offseason. Plus the other pieces that they fit in, it's not just we're going to have 4 top 5 picks. Sure, it helps. It's nice to have Chet Holmgren on your team. But they didn't build it that way, and now they've got that treasure trove of chess moving forward that I think it's going to be difficult to really look at them if they have any sort of success at ever being an underdog for the next decade. But I think at this point, I still think they're the team that was jilted by Durant. I think they're the team that then fell off when Russell Westbrook left. And they're the team that was able to build up from the ground, and I think people will like that. So they may not be underdogs, but they are a team that you want to cheer for. And when you see what they do in their post-game interviews and the regional network and how they gather around as a team and have fun with the reporter, like there's a lot to like about them. So they may not be underdogs, but I think they're going to be the team that people like in these NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to that. And here's what you got to understand also, Dan. They got better. A team that was already good got better. And when I see what Mark Daigneault did this year, they were playing playoff defense already this season. And what do I mean by that? There's a number of adjustments that go into playoff basketball, okay? You're going to guard this guy for the jump shot. This guy, we're going to double team on the block. Their IQ defensively is off the charts. There was nobody else remotely close in the NBA that was young enough to get out and pressure the basketball and make the plays that Oklahoma City made. So when I'm talking about Oklahoma City, I've seen it up close and personal. They have enough defenders. They pressure you. They get up and down the court. And you can argue and say, well, hey, they got Shea. Who else is going to beat you other than SGA? They've got a lot of guys that are willing to step up and beat you. Again, you can argue maybe the second option isn't there. And I would say, yeah, Jalen Williams is going to have to show you that he's that guy at the end of the day. But even beyond that, defensively, I think they can really get out and give you a run for your money. Now, here's the reason that my Rockets matched up with them well. They got a big that scores inside. In the Western Conference, all the bigs are essentially pick and pop bigs. They're not really dominant bigs on the blocks where Steven Adams can out-rebound you. He's really big. Şengün can score in the paint, and you got to pick your poison in those aspects. But here's the thing. You'd have who? And they'll probably see him in the first round. You'd have Sabonis, right? You'd have Anthony Davis with the Mavericks, those two getting ready to face off, and you'll see them in the first round. But other than that, Houston's the only other team in the Western Conference with a big. And if you come out the East, it's likely going to be Boston, who doesn't do anything inside. They play a three-point game.
They swept the Grizzlies this year, so it ends up being Memphis. It's got to be a matchup that Oklahoma City would like to have. They've had great success over Memphis over these past couple of seasons. It's all lining up. They have to get to the NBA Finals, otherwise the narrative's, I think, not going to change. I don't even think a conference finals will do enough considering how great they were this season. You've got to get out of the West to make it to that NBA Finals for that Thunderdog name to change.